guys, it's Shannon with True Crime with Shannon. I am back with another video. First off, I want to thank you guys for returning to the channel and checking it out. If you would, please, if you like what you're seeing, hit that like button. And if you would, hit subscribe if you haven't yet already. And hit the notification bell. It'll let you know when I post a new video. Okay, today is going to be a solemn topic. I'm going to be talking about the massacre that happened at the Texas Elementary School. Now, I did a brief write-up on the blog, and I just wanted to do a video. I felt like it didn't just do it justice, and a lot of information that came pouring out on the day that it happened, which was Tuesday. And I'm recording this on Wednesday. I probably will not post it on the channel until Thursday. A lot of it that came out, there was a lot of preliminary information, and a lot of that information, it just wasn't all verified yet. So at this point, we have more, the information more nailed down. So I'm getting a lot of my information off the AP feeds. Okay, let's see. The gunman who massacred 19 children and 2 teachers at an elementary school in Texas warned in online messages sent minutes before the attack that he had shot his grandmother and was going to shoot up his school, the governor said Wednesday. Salvador Ramos, 18, used an AR-15 style semi-automatic rifle in the bloodshed Tuesday at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, which ended when police stormed a classroom and killed him. Now, I apologize if I am mispronouncing the town or city there. He illegally bought the rifle and a second one like it last week, just after his birthday on May 16th, authorities said. Evil swept across Uvalde yesterday. Anyone who shoots his grandmother in the face has to have evil in his heart, Governor Greg Abbott said. But it is far more evil for someone to gun down little kids. I highly agree. I just can't imagine how these parents felt. Well, first of all, I can't imagine how these little kids felt. This school houses 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade kids, and they say that this all happened in a 4th grade classroom, but I can't imagine being a little kid. I mean, you shouldn't be thinking about such things. I mean, you're like, what, a day or two away from summer. I mean, you're thinking about swimming, you know, summer camp, all that fun stuff, and getting home and just hanging out. And when I was that age, I didn't think about any of this stuff, and they shouldn't have to. They shouldn't have to go to school and be afraid for their life. You know, I mean, these little kids didn't do anything. Investigators shed no light on the motive for the attack, which also left at least 17 people wounded. The governor said Ramos, a resident of the small town about 85 miles west of San Antonio, had no known criminal or mental health history. Now, I feel like he probably did. He may not have. It may not have been documented, because to do that crime, I would think you've got to have something going on. But about a half hour before the mass shooting, Ramos sent the first of 3 messages online, Abbott said. Ramos wrote that he was going to shoot his grandmother, and then that he had shot the woman. In the last note, sent about 15 minutes before he reached Robb Elementary, he said he was going to shoot up an elementary school, according to Abbott. Investigators said Ramos did not specify which school. Ramos sent private one-to-one text messages via Facebook, and they were discovered after the terrible tragedy, company spokesman Andy Stone said. He said Facebook is cooperating with investigators. I sure hope so. I hope any of these social media guys are. As the details of the latest mass killing to rock the U.S. emerged, grief engulfed Uvalde, a population of 16,000. The dead include Alania Garcia, again, I apologize if I mispronounce the names, an outgoing 10-year-old who loved to sing, dance, and play basketball, a fellow 4th grader, Javier Lopez, who had just been eagerly awaiting a summer of swimming, and a teacher, Ava Marireles, with 17 years experience, whose husband is an officer with the school district's police department. You can just tell by their angelic smiles that they were loved, Uvalde School Superintendent Hal Harrell said, fighting back tears as he recalled the children and teachers killed, that they loved coming to school and that they were just precious individuals. It's just little kids. I mean, words just fail me. These are little babies. They're little babies. They haven't even lived even a big portion of their life. They're just so small. How anyone could want to kill a little kid, I just, you can never fathom it. You really can't. Amid calls around the U.S. for tighter restrictions on firearms, the Republican governor repeatedly talked about mental health struggles among Texas young people and argued that tougher gun laws in Chicago, New York, and California are ineffective. Well, I do think that there's a tie with the mental health. He's got something with that one. Democrat Beto O'Rourke, who is running against Abbott for governor, interrupted Wednesday's news conference, calling the tragedy predictable. Pointing his finger at Abbott, he said, "This is on you until you choose to do something different. This will continue to happen." O'Rourke was escorted out as some in the room yelled at him, with Uvalde Mayor Don McLaughlin calling him a sick son of a bitch. Texas has some of the most gun-friendly laws in the nation and has been the site of some of the deadliest shootings in the U.S. over the past 5 years. "I just don't know how people can sell that type of gun to a kid 18 years old," Celia Armendez, the aunt of victim Alania Garcia, said, angrily through tears. "What is he going to use it for but for that purpose?" I agree with her. What is an 18-year-old going to do with an AR-15? I mean, come on. Lieutenant Christopher Olavarez of the Texas Department of Public Safety told CNN that all those killed were in the same fourth grade classroom. The killer barricaded himself by locking the door and just started shooting children and teachers that were inside the classroom, he said. "It just shows you the complete evil of the shooter." Police and others responding to the attack also went around breaking windows at the school to enable students and teachers to escape. Officers eventually broke into the classroom and killed Ramos in one last exchange of gunfire, authorities said. Yeah, I heard it was a border agent that killed him, and thank gosh for him. The attack in the predominantly Latino town was the deadliest school shooting in the U.S. since a gunman killed 20 children and 6 adults at Sandy Hook Elementary in Newtown, Connecticut in December of 2012. Yeah, Sandy Hook immediately came to mind to me yesterday, I could tell you that. The tragedy was the latest in a seemingly unending string of mass killings at churches, schools, stores, and other sites in the United States. Just 10 days earlier, 10 black people were shot to death in a racist rampage at a Buffalo, New York supermarket. I mean, when does it stop, guys? When does this violence stop? In a somber address to the nation, hours after the attack in Texas, President Joe Biden pleaded for Americans to stand up to the gun lobby and enact tougher restrictions, saying, "When in God's name are we going to do what has to be done?" Well, they can do it. We got to do it. I agree with it. Freedoms, and there's a certain point where we have rights to carry, but there's just too much violence at this point. There's just too many innocent people, and these kids. There's no excuse for it whatsoever. But the prospects for any reform of the nation's gun regulations appear dim. Repeated attempts over the years to expand background checks and enact other curbs have run into Republican opposition in Congress. The shooting came days before the National Rifle Association annual convention was set to begin in Houston, with the Texas governor and both of the state's Republican U.S. senators scheduled to speak. Makes you wonder, is that something they're going to cancel now? Should we be having a gun association, rifle gun, association convention right now? I don't think we should. On social media in the days and hours before the massacre, Ramos appeared to drop hints that something was going to happen. On the day he bought his second weapon last week, an Instagram account that investigators say apparently belonged to Ramos carried a photo of 2 AR-15 style rifles. That post tagged another Instagram user, one with more than 10,000 followers, asking her to share the picture. "I barely know you, and you tagged me in a picture with some guns," replied the Instagram user, who has since removed her profile. "It's just scary." On the morning of the attack, the account linked to the gunman replied, "I'm about to." Instagram confirmed to the Associated Press that it's working with law enforcement to review the account, but declined to answer questions about the postings. Investigators are also looking at an account on TikTok possibly belonging to the shooter, with a profile that reads, "Kids Be Scared IRL," which of course stands for in real life. Investigators yet do not know why Ramos targeted the school, said Steve McCraw, director of the Department of Public Safety. "We don't see a motive or catalyst right now." I don't know, maybe there wasn't one. Maybe the guy's just nuts. But we would like more answers to it, but I don't know. Are we going to get it? What motive is okay or even rational enough to kill little kids. There really isn't one. Officers found one of the rifles in Ramos's truck, the other in the school, according to the briefing given to lawmakers. Ramos was wearing a tactical vest, but it had no hardened body armor plates inside, lawmakers were told. He also dropped a backpack containing several magazines full of ammunition near the school's entrance. One of the guns was purchased at a federally licensed dealer in the Uvalde area on May 17th, according to State Senator John Whitmore, who was briefed by investigators. Ramos bought 375 rounds of ammunition the next day, then purchased a second rifle last Friday. So he bought like 375 rounds of ammunition and a second gun. On Tuesday morning, Ramos shot and wounded his grandmother at her home, then left. Neighbors called police when she staggered outside and they saw that she had been shot in the face, Department of Public Safety spokesman Travis Condine said. Ramos then crashed his truck through the railing on the school grounds, and as a Uvalde School District officer exchanged fire with him and was wounded, Constantine said. Ramos went inside and traded more gunfire with two arriving Uvalde police officers who were still outside, he said. Those officers were also wounded. Dylan Sylvia, whose nephew was in a classroom, said students were watching the Disney movie Moana when they heard several loud pops and a bullet shattered a window. Moments later, their teacher saw the attacker stride past the door. "Oh my God, he has a gun," the teacher shouted twice, according to Sylvia. The teacher didn't even have time to lock the door, he said. On Wednesday morning, volunteers were seen arriving at the town civic center with Bibles and therapy dogs. 3 children and an adult remained at a San Antonio hospital, where 2 of them, a 66-year-old woman and a 10-year-old girl, were listed in serious condition. The attack came as Robb Elementary was counting down to the last days of the school year with a series of themed days. Tuesday was Footloose and Fancy, with students wearing nice outfits. What a way to end the school year. I know that they're not returning. Those kids are no longer, their school year's done. It's hard to say. I don't have words, but there's really no words. I mean, I'm not a mom yet, and I can't imagine having a child. You send them off to school, it's supposed to be a safe place to go, and then you hear that there's a shooting at the school that your child's at. And then you go there, and you're outside, waiting for your child, and all you can hope and pray for is that your child is not one of the ones who's been shot or hurt in some possible way. I just can't fathom the feeling that these poor parents had, not to mention the fear in these little kids. They shouldn't have to be thinking about being hurt at school. It should be a safe place to go. They should be able to go in, be educated, have fun, laugh, and then go home safely. There's no reason you should have to fear going to school. There's definitely much more shootings than there ever was when I was in school, and I don't know where they're coming from, but we got to do something about it. We really do. So what do you guys think? Let me know what you think in the comments. And my prayers go out to all the family and all the children right now that are dealing with all this in the town. And I really do hope we get some more answers, although I don't know if we will. But in the meanwhile, I will post their any of the. I think they have a GoFundMe and some charity that you can donate to the school to help support the families of the wounded and killed children and the adults. So. Please do check that out. Thanks again for checking out the channel and watching today's video. If you like what you see, please hit that like button. And most of all, please hit subscribe if you haven't yet already. And I will see you guys again soon.